Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is part 4 for the Zoom recorded lecture for the topic performance, law 1211. So this is the final part, basically part 4. So we are going to cover the relevant sections for under Contracts Act 1950. So the topic is performance under Contracts Act 1950 and the relevant sections are section 38, 39, 40 and 41. So I will advise you all to have, you can refer or you can have a look at your Contracts Act. Okay, I have compilation here, but basically I'm going to reproduce the relevant or the important or some of the provisions on the slide. So for your convenience. So section 38, it talk about performance of a contract by the parties to a contract. And then it also says clearly that in case of death of the promisor, so the performance is to be done by the representative of the promisor. So that's basically section 38, which is quite straightforward actually. And for section 41, it is stated, if it was the intention of the parties that the obligation under the contract must be performed by the promisor himself, promisor personally, okay, then in such cases, obligation must be performed by the promisor. So other party cannot simply replace the promisor to perform the contract. So that's section 41 is all about. And then we come back to section 39. You need to refer to your Contracts Act for section 39. So let me have a look. Looking through section 39. Okay, section 39, it says here, effects of refusal to accept offer of performance. And we have the case actually, okay, case law. We are going to discuss after this, MM Ali and Company and Chelama. Meaning that here, what if the other party refuse to accept offer of performance? Meaning that here, one of the parties want to perform, but the other party refuse to accept the performance. So what happened to the contract? And section 40, it talks about effects of refusal of party to perform. This is now to accept offer of performance, but for section 40, it covers situation, okay, whenever the party refuse to perform, okay. So what is the right of the other party? So basically, the promisee, if the promisor refuse to perform, the promisee may put an end to the contract unless he acquires it, okay. Acquires here, it means accept something reluctantly but without protest. Okay, I want to discuss the case here, which actually shows to us application of section 39. Okay, this case, even though it's very old case here, 1948, MM Ali and Company and Chelama. So this case highlights the scope of section 39 of Contracts Act, which deal with the effects of refusal to accept an offer of performance. We have a look at the facts here. All right. So a tenant of a rent-controlled premises had sent the rent to the landlord. So the tenant wanted to pay the rent. So he sent the rent. But the landlord refused to accept the rent. The landlord has some hidden intention or agenda. Okay, that's why he refused to accept the rent. And the tenant continued, because obligation of the tenant to pay the rent. Okay? The tenant continued to make efforts to send the rent to the landlord. So he has tried his best to pay the rent, okay? Keep on sending the rent to the landlord. And then later what happened, because no payment, I mean, the landlord eventually still refused, okay, to accept the rent. So landlord subsequently attempted to evict the tenant, to chase out the tenant, okay, on the grounds that the rent due from the tenant was in error. You didn't pay the rent, so that's why I'm chasing you out. That's basically the action by the landlord. So the tenant brought the case to the court, and this is the judgment by Court of Appeal. So the issue before the Court of Appeal was that whether the tenant had made a sufficient tender, sufficient offer of the rent to the landlord. And then the finding by Court of Appeal, yes, okay, in affirmative, there was sufficient tender of the rent by the tenant within the purview of section 39 that we have read just now. And then it need not be actual payment to constitute proper tender or performance. So the effort to pay, the attempt to pay, actually it is equivalent to actual payment, okay? Because he really wanted to pay with the money, okay, with the payment money here. So the tenant had attempted to pay the rent to the landlord, who in turn refused to accept it. So the mode of tender can satisfy in the special circumstances all the requirements of section 38 contract enactment, because this is the case was before independent. And then the tenant were never in arrears as claimed argued by the landlord. Okay, as regard to payment of rent here. So the notice to quit was unlawful and void. So the landlord cannot simply chase out the tenant, cannot evict him. So the tenants are entitled, subject to payment of the rent due, to continue in occupation of the premises. Okay. All right, another issue is, what if the promisor disable himself from performing? Just now, attempt to perform, but then refused by the other party. What if the promisor disabled from performing, doesn't want to perform, basically here? Here we have the case of Architect Tenggara, Senang Berhad, and Mid Valley City 207. This is judgment by the court here, all right? When a party by his own act makes it impossible for him to perform his contract at the due date. So basically, the act of the promisor here, actually it amounts to constructive breach of contract. It is construed as breach of contract, okay? And the other party in that particular situation is entitled to enforce his right as a breach, okay? So, and then later, we are going to discuss section 74 later in our final topic. Okay? The measure of damages following breach of contract is governed by section 74. All right, so what happened to the contract? Okay, because the promisor disabled himself from performing. Okay, when a party to the contract has refused to perform or disabled himself from performing his promise in entirety, okay, the contract is voidable at whose option? At the option of the other party, at the option of the promisee, because the promisor is the one who disabled himself from performing. So like the case of Yang Mok Hin and United Malay Sugar, you can refer to the case that we have discussed earlier. And then what's the right for the contracting party here? So the promisee, the victim, the innocent party, okay, the one who is not at fault, the promisee has the option, okay, could elect to treat the contract as an end. He can terminate the contract upon refusal or disability of the promisor to perform his promise. And then he terminate, and then he can recover compensation, he can recover damages. Or alternatively, he also has the option to just ignore the breach by treating the contract as alive and subsisting. He can proceed with the contract. Because why? It's voidable, it's not void. So it's either proceed or terminate and ask for compensation. You can, I think the case is in your textbook. I hope the textbook is with you. So the case for you to read is Leong Weng Chun and Consolidate Leasing Malaysia, Senang Berhad, 1998. And then the last part is, as usual, whenever it involves void contract, voidable contract, okay, void contract, we will refer to section 65 and 66, and the relevant case is against the case of Yang Mok Hin. So section 65, it talk about two consequences. Okay, you can have a quick look at your section 65. Okay, consequences of a rescission of a voidable contract. What happened to the contract? And then for section 66, it covers the situation in which the contract that becomes void. Okay, so it includes voidable contract that becomes void by rescission, because voidable contract is possible to become valid or is possible to become void. And then on top of 38, 39, 40, 41, you can also refer to section 42. So 42, it talks about effects of accepting performance from third person. So it is stated here, just as a short provision, okay, 2 lines only. When a promisee accepts performance of the promise from a third person, he cannot afterwards enforce it against the promisor. So the contract is considered being performed. So the contract is being, the amounts to discharge of the contract, okay, by way of performance of third party, third person. Okay, we are done with the topic performance. So altogether, just to remind, okay, we have 4. Okay, let me stop share first. We have 4 parts, okay, of the recorded lecture. So hopefully you are able to view all of the parts, and then if you have any problem, we can discuss it during our lecture or tutorial session. Okay, with that, thanks for listening. Okay, I'll see you in the class later, inshallah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.